All right, welcome to the podcast, guys. Welcome to the Eyes on Leafs podcast. I'm Mateo. This is Seb to my left here, or I just said to your right on the screen, and then Jacob at the other end there. Basically, what this podcast is going to be about, it's going to be mostly Leafs, mostly Toronto Maple Leafs talk, as you can tell by the name. But we'll also touch on some league, like just general league topics, and I write for Editor and Leaf. You can find my Twitter at MateoG29_. I'm a contributor there. If you guys want to introduce yourself.
I'm Sebastian, big Leaf fan, and I'm excited to be here with the boys and talk about some hockey.
My name is Jacob. I am also a big Leafs fan. Also excited to be here. You can follow me at Jacob D'Souza Music on Instagram.
All right, awesome. So I think we're just going to get started here. We got a pretty packed schedule right now with everything that's going on in the league. First day of training camp today. Well, yesterday was first day of training camp. Today I think it's the first day everyone's actually on the ice and training. Yeah. So there's some big news around the league that we're going to get started with. And I think the back half of the show here, or the large majority of the show, will be Leafs talk. But I just want to start, obviously, Sidney Crosby signed his 2-year extension at $8.7 million per year.
Of course.
Yeah, it has to be. I mean, has to be. It's always 8.7. You guys have any takes on it here?
I think we all thought it was going to be 10.87.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be in the 10 million range, to be honest. A lot of people are making a point of saying it's cool that he took the discount. Now you just got to trust that Kyle Dubas is going to spend his money properly.
I mean, I think he's in a tough spot, right? Like, not Crosby, but Dubas. So just, contending with Letang and contending with Malkin, who's past his prime. You're in a tough spot. Crosby took a discount, which, obviously helps. I think I agree with you guys. I thought he could have got at least 10, and he would have got his jersey number in there at the back half with a 10.087. But, it helps that he takes the cut there. I think Pittsburgh will be interesting this year because they had such a terrible power play that I don't know if it's actually going to be as bad again this year. I thought it was just so bad that might just be an outlier. Yeah. They could have really used some power play goals. I think if they got any power play goals last year, maybe they were in the playoff contention. I know they were kind of there already, but they were in the back half.
They changed coaches too, I think, for power play. I'm pretty sure they changed power play coaches, but they also have fucking Erik Karlsson. So.
Yeah. I mean, when you have Erik Karlsson running your power play, I don't think there's really. You're running. He's probably top 5 power defenseman for a power play quarterback. Yeah, I mean it'll be tough. They're gonna need to get some power play score, and I think they're gonna need goaltending from Jari. I wasn't a fan of that extension when Dubas signed it. I've never really been a big fan of Jari, but I think he's fine enough for a regular season goalie.
Yeah, I gets the job done. I don't have his stats off the top of my head, but middle of the pack goalie, 5 mils a lot.
This year he was really confusing because if you look at just his stats, he was actually fairly solid. I'm pretty sure he had a 9/11, started 50-something games, I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. I might be wrong on how many games he started, but I know he started a lot. But then he lost the starting job to Nedeljkovic at the end of the year. So it's kind of hard. He's a hard goalie to read. I think regardless, Ned is good in the role he's in if he plays 30-something games.
Yeah, Jari started 51 games last year, had a 903.
903, that fell off, never mind.
Yeah, he had a tough start. I know he started to pitch. I believe it was a tough start or it was a tough end. It
was a tough end because he lost the starting job to Nedeljkovic was starting a bunch.
The reason I had him in fantasy, I remember him being pretty solid for a portion of the season, but he fell off there eventually.
Yeah, it's tough though. Kind of the same story with the Penguins last year. They, middle and then towards the end they were not great, I'll say.
Until literally last 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah,
Sidney Crosby put that fucking team on his back.
I think that's just something that I feel like we didn't say because I think it's so obvious, but Crosby's still unreal.
He's still a 90-point player.
Yeah, he's unreal. He's probably top 5 player in the league, closer to top.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so
it's an assumption that because he's over the age of 35 that he's going to be no good anymore, but he's still fantastic. Like you said, still top 5.
Yeah, no, he's unreal. He's good in his own end too. So I think you guys have anything else you want to say about Pittsburgh, or can we move on here?
I just think for Crosby, I know a lot of people think it'd be better if he got traded, and I think for the Penguins it'd probably be better if they were planning on doing a full-on rebuild. But I think at this stage of his career, it's probably more important to him to be a Penguin for life than to get another cup.
And I think the other thing about this deal is that if they do end up changing their mind for whatever reason, or Crosby has to change their heart, you can still trade him. 8.7 is so easy to take on.
Oh,
like
yeah.
even if you're just retaining half, and you get them down to like
especially
the fours, like it's crazy.
Yeah, especially with how the cap growth's going to be the next couple.
That's
of
the other
years.
thing.
It'll
The
be-
cap is going up.
That deal's going to be so good.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're gonna move on here. I think we got everything we want to say for Pittsburgh done. I want to talk about the Tampa Bay Lightning naming Victor Hedman captain after letting Crosby letting Stamkos walk. I mean,
The fuck did that happen?
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. That's crazy. Crosby and Stamkos on the same team. That's unreal. That's like Team Canada from the 2010s right there.
Okay.
But anyway, obviously Stamkos leaving was one of the biggest stories in the offseason. I don't know how many people actually saw it coming. I know last camp Hedman Stamkos came in and said he was pretty upset that they haven't had any contract dialogue. But I kind of thought, like it's whatever. Like they'll get it done eventually here.
Yeah, like it feels like a story that you hear all the time, where it's like, oh, contract talks aren't going so well, and then Evgeny Malkin. 2 hours later, suddenly he's signed a 4-year extension. You know what I mean?
Like Sid calls him, like, hey, just like sign the deal. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, is it weird to you guys that they didn't even like wait a season?
You know what it feels like to me? It's a little different, obviously, because Stamkos left and they let him walk. But it almost feels like Boston's situation, where they just had like a new captain every season because the other dude just retired.
Yeah.
Like they went from Chara straight to Bergeron, straight to Marchand. Like it kind of feels like they just have a lot of leaders they can kind of just appoint that captaincy to at any time. Like if Victor Hedman were to like get traded or leave or something, I'm sure another like Kucherov would probably be next up. Like it feels like that kind of situation.
To tell you the truth, I could think it'd be weirder if they went with no captain, just because of the nature of what the Tampa Bay Lightning are, who they are. It would be weird seeing four alternates like you usually do with the team with no captain.
It does feel like, I don't know. I think it's a good choice. Like I don't think Hedman's a bad choice to be a captain. It's just, I would say it's the circumstance. I guess it's not that it's weird. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just
I wasn't saying that Hedman. I agree Hedman's a good choice for a captain, but it just felt like really weird after all the animosity throughout the year and before the year, and then even. I mean, Stamkos coming out in the Players Tribune saying that like he never really wanted to leave Tampa.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe weird isn't the right word. But
I've seen Tampa Bay fans describe it as bittersweet.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think it's hard on Hedman too, because I think everyone. I mean, listen, Hedman's won everything that he has to win in the league, so I don't know how hard it actually is. But like you're taking away that C from someone that everyone in Tampa loves.
Yeah.
I mean, Stamkos was a warrior too. He had all his injury issues, and if you guys remember in the bubble, obviously he was hurt. He plays one shift in the Cup Finals, scores a goal, and he's done. Like,
I don't think it was. I think it was. That was 2020, I think.
that was the bubble.
Yeah. No. Like the.
The comeback.
The
against
cutoff
that.
season. I remember that. That was crazy though, because
Yeah.
he comes back for that one shift against Dallas and pots one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the dude.
That
What was he
wild.
injured with again?
It was a leg injury, I believe.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know, groin explodes or some shit.
Alright.
Wild.
Anything else to say on the Tampa situation?
No. It's Hedman's obviously the right choice, but it's a weird situation. Stamkos should have retired there.
Yeah, I agree. All right, moving on. We got two big pieces of news in Detroit this week. Yesterday and today. Lucas Raymond signs his 8-year extension worth $8.075 million per year. And today, Seider inks a 7-year deal worth $8.5 million, just over $8.5 million a year. I think they got pretty good value here for both guys.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, especially Seider. I like it, right?
Seider is like, because honestly, I know the big sticking point for Eiserman was he wanted both of them below Larkin's 8.7.
Yeah.
I am like shocked that Seider got 8.5. I thought he was gonna get like at least, if Darnell Nurse is making 9.2 million in the big 2024, I feel like Seider on a 7-year deal should be like definitely over that. I thought for sure it was going to be at least 9.5.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I thought if you were going to get him under, because the big sticking point on 32 Thoughts this week was Friedman said that, as like you said, Eiserman wants everyone below Larkin's cap of I think it was 8.7. Yeah. And I thought for sure, like, hey, if Seider's saying that you're probably seeing him sign to, like, a 4-year deal, maybe a 3-year deal.
Yeah.
With less term, but locking him up for that long and at that cap hit for a young right shot defenseman, that's going to get better. He has
The
so much
right
more
shot
upside.
is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
think that how much more is that than what Philip Roenick made?
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
This offseason.
It's
Yeah,
also
that's crazy.
like, I was talking about this with him on the way here on the streetcar. Like, I know statistically he hasn't been the best since his rookie year. Like, it's kind of, he's stagnated a little bit. But, like, Detroit has relied on him for everything. He's been not pretty much, he is their number one defenseman. They put him up against the hardest competition in the league every single night. He's on the penalty kill. They don't really put him on the power play that much because they don't want to literally kill the guy.
Yeah. Give him a partner. Give him someone
Yeah.
better than Jake Wallman or Ben Sherratt.
Well,
or-
not
He
even
was
Wallman
okay with Jake
anymore,
Wallman, and
yeah.
they just like stopped. And then they traded Jake Wallman to the Sharks.
Why?
Yeah, I mean, like, he's gonna get better. I think it's his first year really playing against the hardest competition that he
Yeah.
can play. Obviously, be on the first pair there, and I don't like the Detroit detour. I mean, I think he's playing with a lot of guys that I'm not really a fan of, like Petrie and
Hall.
Sherratt.
Sherratt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
just you read their defense score. It's just Seider
Yeah.
mid.
below mid and below mid, and they're all overpaid too, which is
Yeah.
crazy. So
Only Mata.
Holy Matt, that's crazy.
Yo, like,
Still
would you
paying
rather have Justin Hall at what's he making? 3.5.
3.5, I think.
Is it 3 Would you rather have Justin Hall at 3.5 or Oliver Ekman-Larsson at 3.5?
I'm not a fan of the Ekman Larson deal either.
Okay,
I'm
but
lying.
like,
I'm not.
sorry, I'm
man.
making it about the Leafs.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's our job. But
But okay, like, let's be serious here though. Like, come on.
No, yeah.
Would you rather have OEL or Justin Hall, who is like being put at 3.4?
Yeah,
you got to
3.4.
think Justin Hall's got the right hand shot tax though. So
He
it's
blocks
like,
shots.
He's getting
too.
platooned. He's not even an everyday
he's not
player.
starting every day. That's the
it's
thing.
it's just that's
Like-
why he's making 3.5. But you're right. Why is he scratched? Like what was it in March last year? He hadn't played a game since January, and
Yeah.
he was completely
Like,
healthy.
Yeah.
I think we talked a lot about the Seider extension, but I also wanted to touch on Raymond as well. I mean, Raymond, another guy that I think has more upside than what he's shown so far in his career.
Yeah. I mean, he's still young.
He is still young, I think, but like what I was saying, I think he has room to grow, right? Like, I think
Yeah,
he'll
like,
get better.
I think he's only 21.
You have his stats pulled up there, Jacob?
Yeah,
it's-
this past season he played all 82 games, 31 goals, 72 points. He was that's really
solid.
great. He had a not so great sophomore season, only 45 points in 74 games,
Yeah.
but he proved all the haters wrong last year.
No, like,
They're going to need him if they want to make the playoffs, I think.
Oh yeah.
I have Detroit right now out of the playoffs. I'm just not a fan of the detour. Their goaltending is just really weird. I know
The
we're
Atlantic's tough too.
situation's odd.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, but I like the two pieces of work that Eiserman got done here after. To me, it was really confusing, very confusing offseason.
Very confusing.
I wrote an article on my Atlantic predictions this year. I think I had Detroit 5th. You could go read it on Editor and Leaf. And I talked about the offseason. I really didn't like the Waldman deal. I thought he did what Eiserman did with the goaltending. Like I think I already said it, but it's just really weird. Bringing in Talbot, bringing in Campbell. I know Campbell won't start, and he's probably gonna be playing in the AHL. Sorry, with Grand Rapids. But I just didn't. I don't know what direction he was going in. It kind of just felt like he was signing guys to sign guys. And I mean, I didn't mind Tarasenko. I think you add some offense there, and I we'll see how Kane looks in a full year. Like, he was unreal when he came back last year, but I'm still wondering what a full year from after his hip surgery is gonna look like. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, they're in a good position. They're right up against the cap right now. I meant they're in a good position cap wise.
Yeah.
Roster wise, I don't think they're.
Yeah, like they're in a weird spot. I
Andrew
know.
Kopp at 5.6.
Yeah.
We'll
it's
see.
wild.
We'll see what happens. I know they have some prospects. I know Edvinsson is coming out this year, and he looks like he's
Yeah.
gonna play his first full year of NHL hockey. So
Did Berggren play all year last year?
I don't
Berggren,
believe
no,
so.
he's been like, he was in trade rumors because
Really?
he has like not been playing. He was
Um,
good for them.
Yeah, he played 12 games last year, 6
2023.
points.
yeah, we'll see. Like,
Yeah.
prospects are always a wild card. You don't really know.
Totally.
Even if you draft them high, you don't know how a prospect will play in their rookie year of their NHL deal.
Berggren for
the rookie
Robertson.
year. Yeah. Okay. Can we hold off on the Robertson trade talk a little bit here? Like, jeez. All right, moving on from Detroit. Some news out of Dallas too. Esa Lindell signs a 5-year deal worth $5.25 million per year, and Thomas Harley signs a 2-year extension with a $4 million AAV. This is a little bit different, tough news, but Jason Robertson will have foot surgery and is going to miss the majority of camp. So we'll see how he plays after camp. I think that's one of the biggest things when you see it out with an injury that misses like a large majority of all of camp. You gotta see how he reacts in the regular season. It might be a little bit of a slower start for him, but we'll see how that goes.
I'm sure Dallas will be concerned about when he's going to be able to start the season too. Anything to add, Seb?
I mean, the good thing, I guess, that you could take out of it is that most likely, I mean, I don't know exactly the situation, but most likely it was lingering last year, which is probably why he had a bit of a down year.
Okay.
So I'd expect him, even though if he has a slow start after coming back, I'd expect him to probably come back to form a little bit.
I think we're going to move on to a couple other topics in the league, and then after that, we'll touch on the Leafs here.
Perfect.
So other topics around the league. These are all coming from 32 Thoughts, by the way. I just pulled some of the headlines that I found really interesting from the article. Friedman talked about how Perfetti wants to stay in Winnipeg, and that the Pinto extension that Ottawa just signed is a little bit of a problem because that's how they're using their comp. And I mean, I looked at it and it's pretty. They're almost the exact. I think like Perfetti has like 10 more points in the exact same amount of games played. I think they both have 140 games played, and Perfetti had like 5 more assists and like a couple more goals. So I mean, the comp is fair.
What's Pinto making? I can check that for you.
Yeah, I
He's
think
making like 4 points.
it's something around that. Like he didn't get a huge extension. I think he had to do the Suns
like
a bit of
years.
Yeah, it was 2 years, 3.75.
Yeah.
Oh,
He had to do
yeah.
He had to do the Suns a bit of a favor after the gambling scandal. Like that
Yeah.
wasn't great. He kind of put them in a tough position there.
It's a fair contract for where he's at. I think
Yeah.
as a player too.
I
Great
mean,
deal.
Like,
he's
I-
also young, so there could be room to grow there. So like if he didn't have that, I wonder if he signs a long-term deal with a little bit bigger of a cap hit. But
The thing I'm confused about is like, what else does Perfetti really want? Like, I mean, what is he?
well, his minutes haven't
Proved.
been they don't give him much of a chance in Winnipeg. Like
I mean, yeah, but if you take the 2-year deal, bro, look at that team right now, bro. They don't really
yeah,
have
but
a 2
it was the same team last year, and they didn't give him a chance either. Like I'm not a fan of the usage that they've had for Perfetti. I feel like eventually Winnipeg has a tough time bringing in top players. So when you have a top prospect, you have to develop them properly. That's how teams in those smaller markets, especially in Canada, if you want to contend, you have to develop your prospects properly because it's hard to bring people in free agency.
But then the thing that confuses me is then why does he want to stay? Like, if
Because
you want to stay,
like I just said, I mean, he wants to stay because I think he wants to make it work in Winnipeg. But like they're not really giving. I don't think they've given him the proper opportunity there. Like they haven't given him.
that's
Maybe
what
they got
I'm-
a new head
like-
coach now, so that might change.
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
but
you're
then
right.
like I'm just
We'll see
confused
about
about
that.
like what money does he want? Like I mean, like even last year, not 23, 24, 22, 23. I think he was on like I don't know. I think it was a 50-point pace.
Yeah, what did he have? 19 goals
I'm
last
pretty
year?
sure it was a 50-point pace the year before, but I mean, even that. I mean, look at what he did this year. It was
Yeah,
whatever.
He had 19
I mean,
goals, 38 points. Like
I
two
don't know,
by four
I-
as a Briggs deal is
I'd
perfectly
s-
fine.
if I were him, I would just take that. That takes you to 24. You'll still be an RFA.
It's
If you
likely
prove
when-
yourself in the next 2 years,
He's still an
take the
RFA.
long deal. And 2 years, he's only 22.
Yeah,
If he takes a
but
2-year deal, he'll be 24.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I wonder if that's a problem for him. I wonder if he wants to bind out all the RFA years so he could be a UFA at the end of the deal.
That could
I
be.
guess. I mean, honestly though, if
Friedman
I were
didn't say
him,
that to be clear. I'm just that's just maybe like what I'm thinking right
if
now.
I were him, I would, because he's a good player. I would, if I were him, I would bank on myself, take the 2-year deal. At the end of the 2-year deal, the cap's gonna go up by what? Even if he
We'll
kind of
see.
stagnates, he
Yeah.
can still ask for the same percentage of the cap and make probably another $1 or $2 million each year.
All right, so
off of
some
that deal, so
yeah,
I-
some
I
other
don't
news on some expiring deals here is so far there's been no movement on Swayman. Obviously, that was a big deal in the press with on Sweeney kind of losing his mind. And everyone, so
yeah. He's withholding his services.
You didn't sign him. What do you
No
mean?
contract.
that's
What?
weird. He lost it. Like he was yelling at people, like just an absolute snap show. Like I don't know what that was, but the other one that Friedman was talking about is how he thinks. He thinks a bridge deal is gonna get done for Dawson Mercer in New Jersey, so
Okay.
we'll see how that plays
Well,
out.
he's
Fair,
he's
he
kind of on the
probably
level
should.
as Perfetti and
Yeah.
maybe a little bit better than those two.
Yeah.
I think he's proved more for sure.
Yeah, I think so
But
too.
I'd say Perfetti's ceiling's higher, but Mercer's definitely proved a little
Yeah.
bit more.
All right, you guys want to into the Leafs topics now?
Yeah, let's get to the Leafs.
All right,
Oh,
let's
no.
go here. All right. Okay,
Mateo.
so yeah.
Do you mind bringing your mic just a little bit closer to you?
There.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, cool. All right. So I think we're gonna get to some. I just wanted to just say some headlines that happened around camp here, and then we're gonna get into some stuff like the key signings, what we thought of the signings.
Perfect.
And we're gonna also gonna so we'll go from there. I mean I think the biggest story at camp was on day 1 and day 2 is that they're actually gonna try to give Nylander a run here at center. We know Keefe tried it barely, like 2 games in the preseason, and then wasn't a fan. Personally,
The Nylander threw shots at him today.
yeah, that was.
I love that.
That was yeah. If you guys didn't see that, Nylander pretty much just a reporter asked him like, why do you think that the experiment was so short last year, or in the past with Keefe? And he said, I think you'll have to ask my old coach, while smiling and laughing a little bit,
Yeah.
but.
Yeah, deserved.
Yeah, like I don't know how I feel about Willie at center. I think he has a tendency to take shifts off sometimes, and I think that
He does.
And like as much as I wasn't the biggest fan of Keefe, I thought for the most part when he benched Willie pretty much deserved it. Like I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes like Willie's great. I'm a big Nylander fan, but he does have the tendency to take shifts off from time to time, and he's not the greatest in his own zone. So we'll see what that'll look like.
Honestly, I think if you're gonna try anyone at center, put Mitch Marner there.
I agree.
I think he's
Maybe.
proven that he is able to drive his own line. You know what I mean?
Did he play center in junior?
I'm
Yeah, he
fairly
did.
positive. he
Probably
did.
did. I feel like a lot of guys do. But
Shout out Toronto for drafting 2 wingers in the top 10 and then
Turning them into
two
wingers.
centers
The
in
thing
the top 10 to
that
the
I wonder
wingers.
about Marner is I wonder if they don't want to try him there because it's his contract year. I wonder how.
bro,
I'm gonna be
at
honest
this
with you.
like, fuck.
There's 2 sides of this. Where it's like maybe Marner doesn't want to do it because he doesn't want to have to play a new position that might mess up his
That's
stat
true,
lines in his
yeah.
contract year, or Toronto. I mean, listen, I doubt like they're trying to win now. I doubt that this would even be brought up. But like, what if he performs unreal at center and they have to pay him center money instead of winter money? But I mean, it's gonna be a big cap hit either way, so I don't think that's
Yeah,
really
that
valid.
dude's
but-
making like 12 million regardless.
Yeah,
12 by 8
unfortunately, it
is-
doesn't matter
yeah.
where he's going.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to save a little bit of this talk a little bit more for when we're gonna do ideal lineups here,
Okay.
ideal lines and stuff like that. But so we can talk about that more when that time comes. But other headlines is Dewar had shoulder surgery and he won't participate in camp, so we'll see how that goes. Leafs first round pick in this year's draft, Ben Danford got concussion at rookie camp.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah,
Tough for him.
yeah, not ideal. We'll see. I mean, I don't think anyone expected him to even challenge for the
no.
roster. He's going back to junior. I mean, concussions suck obviously, but
Just sucks for him personally.
yeah, exactly. Just sucks for him personally. And then the other one was a high ankle sprain for Fraser Minton, which is terrible.
that one's
That
tough
one's tough.
because he
he's
had a
not making.
legitimate.
Yeah, I don't think he'll make the team anymore. Like I don't think
No.
he won't be at camp. So like I don't know how you give him a roster spot.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to anyways, to tell you the truth, but
I
mean,
thought he might have pushed for it.
Yeah,
He would've
like
pushed for
he
it.
was a legitimate. Not I don't want to say like a legitimate option, but he was a legitimate gonna be a contender in camp to try and
Yeah.
take that 3C spot.
yeah.
Yeah. And then so I think those are all the pretty much the headlines at camp today. I
Okay.
think the other notable is that Timmins was on like the 5th pair with the first group. So I think we know what's going on with Connor Timmins. I think we'll see him dealt pretty soon here. I think
Guangdong Tigers.
I think the Leafs are like close to $2 million over the cap, and if I'm not wrong, Timmins makes 1.1 million.
That's correct.
I mean, with Timmins though, it's
Yeah.
like they don't even necessarily have to trade him. Like, bro, at the end of the, what are you gonna get in a Timmins trade? Like,
you're
it's
gonna
just
be
cap
he's
He's
trying to
draft
get
pick.
something,
It's
but
just
then
cap space.
even then though, they can just send him down. He has a variable cap hit. They'll
Yeah.
get the full cap relief anyways
And he's
if they
only
send
got
him down.
1 year
So
left,
like,
doesn't
I'm not too concerned about Timmins if a Timmins trade doesn't happen because they'll just waive him and either team whatever claims him or whatever. He's a Marley. Like it's.
Yeah, your issue
not
then
concerned.
is you'll have perfectly enough cap space, and then you have to sign Pacioretty, which they seem pretty
Yeah.
confident is going to happen.
I mean, Brad Shulman was talking like he's going to be with them. I think
Yeah.
I think the quote is
I mean,
that
it's been
everyone has to earn.
reported, like-
Yeah, I mean, I think the quote was everyone has to earn their spot on the team, but I'm confident that
Bro.
not.
I don't think
It's just like-
Pacioretty was gonna sign a
No,
PTO with a
no,
team.
he's not
He-
battling out anyone for a lot. Like
Yeah,
he's not battling anyone.
I don't know what else they can do though, because I like the only other really movable cap hit you have at that point is Yarncroke, and I'm not entirely convinced they should move Yarncroke.
Well, I think the rest of
I
it
don't
that
think
they
they
have
should.
that they'd trade to clear cap, but I have Camp, Reese, Timmins, and I think all 3 of those guys you probably like. I don't know who's taking a Ryan Reeves deal, And I don't know who's taking a David Kampf deal. Like, I think you have to apply.
David Kampf.
Yeah,
I forgot about
I
him.
think you're gonna have to attach it. You might have to attach like a pick to both those contracts to anything.
Let's not forget
No
David
way
Kampf.
David Kampf has a modified no trade
He has-
clause.
he has a
I
10
forgot
team
about
trade.
that.
Joking me? Is that for this year only?
No.
No, that is for both years. Let's actually check.
You're
He got a great
joking.
deal.
Sorry, it's for. He has 3 years left. It's for the next 2 years. Last
Yeah,
year.
Why are we
Even
giving a fourth line center a no trade clause?
Dude, everyone gets no trade clauses in this league now.
It's crazy.
Yeah, everyone
Why?
does. All right, so I want to. We just talked a little bit more about this with our ideal lineups. But before we get into that, I kind of want to go over the key signs for the Leafs this summer. And we'll see. I just wanted your take on the offseason as we get into camp, and we're looking forward to this the season starting. Obviously, like the key signs, we got Tanev, we got Oliver Ekman-Larsson, we got Yanni Hakanpää, which actually happened after months of like
Surprised,
wondering
to
if
be
he
honest.
would. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony Stolarz, and they also signed Joseph Wool to an extension. And obviously, we just touched on it, the PTO to Max Pacioretty. So I'm assuming we'll see him sign an NHL deal here pretty soon.
Yeah.
I think all the signings are fair, but the one thing I want to mention is like, how did they go a month with this Hakanpää situation, or like 2 months on this Yanni Hakanpää situation,
Spit it
and
out, bro.
somehow he still got over league minimum. You don't even know if those guys you don't even know if his legs work.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I really don't care that
Oh,
much
he's got
about
metal
him.
legs.
It's a 1 year deal. They'll throw him on LTIR
Dude,
if he
he-
can't. But
No,
do you
I'm
think
just
they-
like, I feel it's just weird. Like I mean, this is probably the weirdest thing to be like upset or like be even talking about. Just like,
At least it's not the
how
2 year
does-
deal that they.
oh yeah, at least it's not 2
years.
years. It's just like I don't know how he didn't get league min after that. to
Yeah,
be
but like the
honest.
thing is, you could bury the deal if it
Yeah, you
worst
could
comes to
bury it.
worst.
Just-
LTIR is a thing. Like I mean,
I was
I'm
like
not.
very surprised.
I'm not gonna get too worked up about that. He's a right hand shot defenseman. I think he provides something that the Leafs like and would-
Size.
I like
Size,
it.
exactly.
I like him.
Yeah.
I like him as a
Yeah.
player. I'm just like I'm
Penalty
surprised
killer,
to be
could clear
honest.
the net front. Like I think they needed some net front defenders, but
Yeah.
yeah. The other thing I'd say is, I mean, obviously Tanev's deal is really long. I mean, everyone says LTIR, but like, what if he actually decide to play?
I also do we know if they're gonna change the LTIR rules? In the
I
I've
mean,
been seeing stuff about that.
I assume so.
I'd be
but,
surprised, I guess, but it could happen.
Yeah, but I feel like they just have leniency to the teams that signed the deals before. Like I think they
Yeah,
did
I
that.
guess,
It's not like
yeah.
they shortened the contracts once the 8-year max deal rule came in.
It's
so.
just kind of funny that it's very obviously an LTIR contract in like 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like it's very
The thing that
obvious.
concerns me is like, what if he actually is healthy enough to put together teams? in,
That's
like,
what's
3
the
years,
crazy.
and it's
Like, we're all expecting it's one or the other. Like he's just gonna be like this elite defensive defenseman for like the next 6 years, or he's either
6
gonna
years
fall
is
apart in like 2. It's like,
It's
what
been
if
a
he's
long
just
time.
somewhere in the like? What if he's Mark Giordano for the last 3 years of that deal? What if he's just Mark Giordano? But like this year, Mark Giordano.
Oops.
yeah, I
like,
guess. I mean,
like, I guess we'll be rebuilding
I mean,
at that point.
Like
so.
again, like I'm I don't know. I'm really happy that we got Chris Tanev, and 6 years down the
I'm
road,
happy.
I
It's just
probably
funny.
won't be. But I mean,
Yeah.
if they win a cup with him, then
Who cares?
Exactly. And I
talking
think
about the Leafs winning
Winning a cup is
wild.
crazy. Dirty
that's
work.
their mindset though. That they're gonna.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah, I'm sure.
My
It is.
mindset is to make $1 million, and
Yeah.
that's not happening ever in my life.
I wonder if
so.
Mitch Marner's mindset is a cup or if it's his contract. Just throwing that out there. I'm just wondering.
His mindset is $12
Also,
million.
Liljegren's like getting traded, right?
I mean, I assume so eventually.
I don't feel like that's a.
Depends how he
I
plays
feel like
this
he's
year.
gone.
He's good.
I don't
I love
mind
Liljegren, bro.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite players. I just feel like this is not a Brad Treliving or a Craig Berube guy. Me and Mateo were talking about this the other day. Like,
Yeah.
trying to work out these pairs with him and Hakanpää. Why do I keep saying Hakanpää? Hakanpää is crazy. Like, he doesn't really fit with anyone because the top 2 pairs, I don't want him with OEL or Riley. I don't, because he's not strong enough defensively
Oh, Jake
consistently to be with them.
What about Jake McCabe?
Maybe, but I don't want to break up that Jake McCabe and Benoit pair.
Who'd you say was going with Jake McCabe? You're talking about Liljegren?
Liljegren.
Yeah, but then the
I don't want to break
Yeah.
up Benoit or
Benoit's
McCabe.
the 7th best defenseman on this team. You tell me he's in the lineup every night. He's not in the lineup every
He's
night.
making
when
1.3,
Hakanpää's
I
knee
feel like.
explodes because he has no cartilage, I feel like he's
Yeah,
in the
like-
top 6.
I don't know. I feel like, honestly, if Hakanpää works out, I feel like I'm not entirely convinced Tanev is going to be with Riley all year. I know at line rushes today he was playing with Riley, but I feel like he could be with OEL, and they might put Hakanpää with Riley if Hakanpää works out, because that is kind of like the mold of defensemen they just love putting with Morgan Riley. And I don't really know where else he fits on this team, because he could fit with OEL, but
Talking
I don't know.
about
We have to see.
talking about fits, I went into the ideal lineups now.
Sure.
So, I mean, I had my lines, and then I saw today that they're actually going to try Nylander at center, so they changed it up. Just changed it up a little bit for the forward core for me. Something I just want to point out is I think they have a real lack of wingers once you put Nylander up the middle.
Oh
they
my
have a real
God,
lack of
do
like
they ever.
everything when you start moving stuff around.
It's
I
kinda
wonder what
weird.
they could have done to fix that.
I mean, I don't know. Listen, I think eventually I will find some, like once the season starts, you find some clarity on if Robertson's actually with the team. You'll see if what Cowan is.
Robertson for
You see what
Kaliev.
Pacioretty is too.
I mean, I don't have much. To be honest with you, I don't even have Pacioretty in my starting.
I don't know what to expect with Pacioretty, to be honest, because if he's healthy, awesome. Could be. I mean, I don't expect him to be point per game max
But what
Pacioretty
even
like
is
he
he?
was
'Cause
with
when-
Vegas.
when-
That's the thing. What is that guy?
When he was in Montreal, he was a great skater, and now he has so many injuries. Like he's not the same skater, and obviously he's
Yeah.
older, so your legs go just naturally.
Yeah, I mean, bro says he's healthy, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
how
but
many
he
times
said
have
he
we
was
heard that?
healthy, and he tore his
Yeah,
ACL
he
and
played
then came
5
back
games.
and tore his
Yeah.
Achilles.
I
Like,
feel like we've
like-
heard that so many times, especially with Leafs players, all these reclamation projects they have. It's like, oh yeah, I feel better than I have in years, and the guy
Yeah.
plays 3 games
John
with the
Klingberg.
Leafs. John
John
Klingberg, Matt
Klingberg.
Murray. I mean, Murray we'll see, but
John Klingberg
I mean,
got
yeah, Murray-
clapped by
yeah,
a
we'll see.
flight. That's crazy
That's
to
tough,
me.
but-
That guy got clapped by a
the airplane
plane.
ended his career. It's wild.
all right, so do we want to get into our lines?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so I'll start off here. My top line is Domi, Matthews, Marner.
Yeah, good line.
I saw that Berube wants to try a Domi on the left wing, Nylander up the middle, and Yarncroke on the right. To me, I don't understand the logic when you've seen what Domi could do with Matthews. I mean, Domi was great with Matthews at the end of last year and into the playoffs. I thought they actually had like chemistry there, and I mean, Domi has warts to his game. Like he's not great defensively. That's why I don't see him as a center personally. He doesn't shoot the puck enough. It's frustrating to watch. Like I feel like there's
Yeah.
like 4 times a game where I'm like you could have shot there. You had good scoring opportunity, but he's looking for the pass.
It was game 5 or 6 in the playoffs in the first period when the Domi and Marner were just running the Boston's show, and so many times Domi just shoot the puck. Shoot the puck.
Yeah. They had when Matthews went out. I remember. I think it was game 4. I think it was the last game in
Yeah.
Toronto when Matthews went down injured. They're down bid in the third, or not bid. They're down by like 2 or 3 goals in the third period.
Yeah.
And they put Domi and Marner. I think this is what you're talking about. It was just a cycle behind the net. It was just like going around the zone. They got they had all the puck possession, but they had no shots. And Marner scored a great goal in garbage time, typical Mitch Marner playoff goal. But
This is very quickly turning into a Mitch Marner
yeah,
hate
you're
podcast.
whatever. It is what it is.
That's what it is. We love
so-
you, Mitch.
Domi, Matthews, Marner is my top line. I think my second line would be Robertson, Nylander, Yarncroke. I think that line, Robertson, Nylander on the same line scares me defensively, but I don't see Robertson as a bottom 6 player in the NHL. I don't think he has the checking ability. I don't think he doesn't have the size to do it. And even if he sometimes not being big isn't the biggest deal in the world, but if you play feisty, like if you hit people, if you're not afraid to go into the corners, but Robertson doesn't really play that style. He's a hard worker. I'm not saying he's not, but he doesn't really play a bottom 6 style in the NHL.
Yeah.
Nylander scares me a little bit up as the center. I think I've already talked about that. How I don't
Yeah.
know how he'll look up the center defensively with all those responsibilities.
Yeah. But you got to give him more than 2 games.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
would say the one thing, even though I'm not a fan, is you have to you need a center right now and just see what you have on the roster.
Yeah. I wonder if he just wants to play center. That's why they've been
Nylander?
trying it. So yeah.
Well, he
mean-
said that him and Berube talked about it, and
Yeah.
that he said
Yeah.
the only thing is I can't play one game, you pull me off, and I think that was
I'm-
kind of taking a shot of how
I-
Keefe did it last
Yeah.
time.
I think it's just because his skill set. It's he's such a transitional player. Like he's one of the better transition players in the league. He just got so much speed for the neutral zone. It really does feel like he should be a center.
Yeah.
It's just he doesn't have, I guess, I don't know, whatever the face-off nuance and all that.
Yeah,
But
I'm
he
really
has
open to it.
He has the strength. He has the speed. He's a great transition player.
I think
He's a good playmaker.
The thing that scares me more is just in his own end. Like when
Yeah,
you have,
and then
like,
the
you have
defensive-
there's more defensive responsibility as a center. Like the systems, there's more
Maybe-
responsibility as a center than there is as a winger.
Maybe
Absolutely.
him though, playing center with Craig Berube as coach. Maybe he kind of. I mean, it's hard to ask a 28-year-old
I was
to
gonna say
change
that.
his habits.
I don't know
but
how much people keep saying like how's Baru didn't have them play. I don't know how much you could change a player that's already 8 years
Yeah,
deep
like,
in his
I-
career.
I
Like,
mean-
and he's also we're not talking about a bottom 6 player. We're talking about one of the premier forwards in the
Yeah.
NHL. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how much he'll change that game.
Maybe he'd be able to just get him to dial it the hell in a little bit every.
I mean, listen, Keefe was, as much as we give Keefe a lot of flack for how he handled the different things, he was on Nylander a lot, and I think
Because he was Nylander's the only one that he could be on.
yeah, I
Because
mean,
anytime he had to talk shit about somebody else, he had to walk it back.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think Keefe did a fine job with Nylander. I think the only thing that I'd say is the center. I don't know why he was so like even in the preseason. It's like
Yeah.
I'm done with this.
He'd
I-
be
like,
done
I
with it
don't-
like halfway through a game.
yeah.
Like, you gotta like I'd say, I'd try it for majority of the preseason. Don't like chicken out and
Yeah.
change the lines
He's not
halfway
gonna,
through the
he's
game.
not
Like
gonna
you
forget
gotta
how to play wing.
you gotta
but
run it.
He needs to learn how to play
Yeah.
center in the NHL, which is something that
Like-
he has not had the opportunity to do. Give the poor boy
Yeah,
a chance
like,
to
I-
make some mistakes.
I don't know how many preseason games Nylander will actually play in, but if he's playing 4 games, I feel like unless it goes absolutely god awful, he should play every single one of those games as a center.
All right, so moving on to the third line, I got Nyes, Tavares, McMahon. I think
Good
that's
line.
I think that's a good third line. I think you got Seider. I think you got guys who go like that's a third NHL third line there.
Yeah.
You got guys who aren't afraid. Like JT, as much as people don't think he's a physical player, just in the sense that he doesn't like kill people, but like
Yeah.
he goes to the corners, he goes to the front of the net. Yeah, he's a gritty player, and
He's big.
Yeah, I think also that's a pretty responsible defensive line. I know Nyes had his issues, but I think he got a little bit better as the season went on.
He was a rookie.
Yeah, Nyes will get better.
Yeah, and I think McMahon plays the bottom 6 game. Like he'll fly around there, he'll hit people.
If you can get another 15 goals from Bobby McMahon, that's friggin' huge.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think
even
other-
in 70 whatever games he plays, that
Yeah.
would be
Yeah.
awesome.
I think also JT playing in third line competition will help him a lot. Like I know we talked a lot about him being overpaid, but I don't think that makes him a bad player.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was great on the third line when he played there last year with,
Yeah.
what was it, Nyes and Robertson?
I
Yeah.
like
That was
that
a good
little
line.
3-line experiment they did for that little bit. I think
If you
where they
remember-
got killed was that Nylander, Bertuzzi, Domi line.
If
'cause
you
they had to
remember,
shelter it.
if you remember 2 years ago that when O'Reilly got traded, I think they thought that the plan
they put
might have
Tavares on winger for a bit, and that was
on
great.
the wing, and then they also tried to where okay we're gonna put Tavares on the third line.
The Ontario line, bro.
I
that
kind
line
of
was so good.
I kind of had that thought when they said they were moving Nylander to center, but I quickly realized that they wanted Tavares at 3C.
Yeah,
because
like-
they have no one else. To
Yeah.
Yeah, as I was saying, I don't think he's a bad player. Like, he still had 29 goals last year, 36 assists, like
He's-
65 points. That's a good player. It's a solid NHL player.
Still a top 6 player, to be honest.
If you go back,
for
if you go back like even a year before that, he was a point per game player.
Yeah,
so,
I think last year he was definitely snake bitten a little bit. He'll
yeah.
be okay.
The other thing is that
29 goals.
I'd like to play Marner with JT. If
Yeah.
the Nylander
I agree.
experiment doesn't work, like I had a set of lines here before it was announced that Berube is actually playing Nylander, and as my second line, I had Robertson, JT, and Marner. And I love that line because I think you have the playmaking with Marner that'll help JT and it'll help Robertson, who are both. I mean, JT plays a different game, and I think it's a pretty balanced line. There are two guys who are good defensively that can help out Robertson. So I think that's a line that they should definitely look at if Nylander doesn't end up working out as a center. But anyways, back to the lines of what I think will happen now that Nylander's playing up the middle. Well, okay, so the thing about these lines is that I don't have Pacioretty in them. I think this is what I would do if I was the coach, but I think it's pretty obvious that Pacioretty would be in the starting lineup. They brought him in for a reason. I don't think they're just having him there to skate around. So if that does, like, obviously that will happen, I think you'll see Pacioretty in the top 6. I don't think he plays the bottom 6 game as we were talking about already.
Yeah.
Anyways, but moving on to the fourth line, I have Holmberg on the left wing with Kampf and Cowan.
Okay.
I think, listen, Cowan's a weird fit because I think if you want him playing, you do want him playing with the better players on the team,
I agree.
just so he could create
He
offense.
does work as a bottom 6 player though too. Like if you watch him play, he has a really high motor.
Yeah.
Gets in the court. He's relentless. Like he actually does fit. like I'd be way more comfortable having like Cowan in a bottom 6 role than having someone like Robertson.
Yeah. And I think what you see here, listen, personally, I had Minton competing for role with Kampf, and then obviously he has a high ankle sprain, so I don't think we'll see what happens. He'll also play in the AHL this year, right, Minton?
He's 21, turning 21 this year, I think.
Yeah, so we might still see him. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah, Holmberg on the left. What do you guys think about that line? Holmberg, Kampf, and Cowan?
I think you already mentioned Cowan's a weird fit there. I don't think I'm still on the fence on whether David Kampf is going to be on this team this year.
Yeah.
So that's my only concern. But otherwise, I like that line. I think it could be a good fourth line. If anything, David Kampf's still the odd man out there because I think Holmberg and Cowan.
I feel like Holmberg should be taking over for Cowan. I feel biggest Holmberg. But anyways, I do feel like he would be kind of. Holmberg just has to get better at his faceoffs. I think to be like a fourth line center, you have to have good faceoffs, and Holmberg's kind of brutal in the faceoff dot. Yeah, but they are very similar players. I don't know why they ever signed Kampf to that deal, knowing they had Holmberg and saw him play for half the season before. Yeah, I don't know. I never understood it, but
in case you guys were curious, Group B's second line today, according to David Alter at practice, was Pacioretty on the left, Holmberg in the middle, and Nikita Gabrenkin on the right.
Nikita Gabrenkin is my new Pontus Holmberg.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. All right.
What do you mean you? Holmberg just got here, dude.
But I don't know if he's gonna play this year. So now Nikita Gabrenkin is my new favorite, late round prospect. Anyways,
why don't you and I can bang on our lines and can talk a little bit more about the lineup here.
Yeah. Sure, so you guys just go through your lines, and then we'll move on to
you want me first, or you?
You go ahead, yeah.
Okay. I had different ones at home before they announced Nylander was going center again because I honestly didn't think they were going to do it.
Me too.
Those lines weren't too different. I think the only real difference I still had Nylander on the third line, or I think I had Marner, one of them on the third line to spread out the talent a little bit. I just had pretty much a mix of like 5 different guys that could have played 3C because Domi's not playing center on this team.
Do you want to just go through them quickly?
Yeah, I'll go through. The lines I have right now are Nyes, Matthews, Domi. I feel like that's the closest they can get to Bertuzzi, Matthews, Domi from last year, and that line was electric.
Yeah,
down the stretch. I feel like Domi and Matthews should 100% at least start the year together.
Yeah.
Second line, I have 2 depending on if Pacioretty works out. Second line would be Pacioretty, Tavares, Marner. I feel like that line could work. Marner, you have 2 talented shooters. I mean, we'll see if Pacioretty still has it. He has been a talented goal scorer in the past, besides last year.
It's hard when you don't know what he is yet. But
that's why. This is a hypothetical if he does work out.
Yeah.
And again, Tavares and Marner works. We know it works. Always does. Third line would be McMahon, Nylander, Robertson. I feel like McMahon can pick up for a little bit of that defensive slack the other 2 leave. Nylander center again can get it to 2 decently talented shooters. McMahon's really good at driving the net, great speed. Yeah. His shot's decent, but he's better on that drive to the net speed. I feel like that could be great. Robertson, insane shot. I feel like that line could work. And then fourth line, Reeves, Kampf, Yarncroke. It's fourth line.
The thing I'd say about the second line, I think that's something that stood out to me, is how slow that line would be with Pacioretty and Tavares on it.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was thinking about. I was more thinking I don't know if this team's really gonna play that fast, anyways. We'll see. I I don't know. This team hasn't played that fast the past couple years, anyways.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Jacob, you want to go ahead, buddy?
Yeah, sure. I've got Nyes, Matthews, Domi as the top line as well. I was thinking the exact same thing as you. I really like Bertuzzi, Matthews, Domi. Closest you'll get to that. And honestly, I'm all for splitting up Matthews and Marner too. Just see what you can get. I think it's growing a little bit stale.
Yeah.
Second line, I've got Robertson, Nylander, and Marner. I am dying to see Nylander and Marner on a line together with Nylander centering it. Robertson's just kind of a throw in there could work.
We'll
might not.
see if he's even with the team. I know there was a
Yeah, I
point
don't know
on
what's
transfer
going
value that
on,
they're
dude.
still looking at trading him, but so we'll see.
Yeah. Third line, I've got McMahon with Tavares and Pacioretty. I think that was the same thing you had, Mateo, as your third line.
Third line, you said McMahon with Tavares and Pacioretty.
Yeah.
I had Nyes on that line.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You had Knights on that line. Yeah, I was also thinking Cowan could go in for Pacioretty, but
Yeah.
again, I don't really know what either of those guys are going to be like at the NHL level this year. But that being said, my fourth line at the moment is Cowan with Holmberg and Yarncroke. Dewar possibly sliding in on the left wing when he's healthy. Yeah, I don't have David Kampf in there. I don't have Ryan Reeves. I don't have Steven Lorentz.
Yeah, Steven Lorentz.
Steven Lorentz,
But he was
legend.
sent to a PTO. We'll see if he makes the team.
Yeah.
I've seen people say, and it's a great analogy, he's kind of like this year's Dylan Gambrell, I think, just a little better.
We'll see.
Could factor
Did
in if there's
Gambrell
injuries.
Really,
but-
but Dylan Gambrell played like what, 2 games?
Did he play?
Did even
The
play?
league? No, he didn't even play
No,
last
I'm thinking
year
of
with the Leafs.
preseason. That's not me.
Maybe
Yeah.
on preseason, but I know regular season he didn't play at all. But
Yeah,
he
he got-
does kind of feel like this year's Dylan Gambrell a little bit, where he's kind of like that next up center that might just never get called up.
Yeah, he never got called up. He played
Yeah,
6 games with the Marlies last year.
This is interesting though. If you guys didn't see this, Lorentz was on a line with Camp and Reeves today.
Oh,
so
really?
that's kind of like a Dewar Camp Reeves style
Yeah.
line, I guess.
They might try. They'll probably try him preseason
yeah.
with some of the
The
fourth
thing is,
line
when
guys.
in training camp, when you have all these different groups together, you'll see kind of like different pairings.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
always
Yeah.
messed up.
So when preseason starts and the games actually start, I wonder if we'll see maybe some more clarity on what Berube is actually thinking with these lines and who
Yeah,
he
for
wants in
sure.
this lineup.
Yeah, I also was curious, or just not curious, but interested by another line I saw today was Cowan, Jacob Quillen, and Alex Nylander on the right side.
Yeah, that's an
It's
AHL line.
Bro,
Yeah.
okay, Jacob Quillen's actually. I've seen people rave about that guy.
Okay, least irrelevant player on that line.
Least irrelevant, Cowan. Yeah, it's. Or
What are
what are you
talking
saying?
about? I was saying Jacob Quillen is the least irrelevant player
Oh.
on that line.
What do you mean least
No,
irrelevant?
it's most irrelevant.
Sorry, most
Yeah,
irrelevant.
yeah, no.
Oh,
100%,
okay, yeah,
yeah.
that would make
me,
more
I'm
sense. I was
sorry,
like,
yeah.
what?
Double negative, my bad. That's on me.
You're good.
You're good,
You're
bro.
good. All right, we want to move on to the defense pairings now. Did you do
Yeah.
all three? Yeah,
We
you
kind
got
of
through all
talked
three.
Yeah, go
about them a
for it.
little bit.
Yeah,
guess.
like I mean, I
Let's
don't
do
think
them,
there's. I think there might be a little bit of change, but I think we'll have similar ones. I obviously have Riley Tanev as my top pair.
Yeah.
I have OEL McCabe and I have Benoit Lidren. What I really want to focus on was the left-hand shot, 3 lefties and 3 righties. I think we've had it for so long where this team's really struggled to find right-handed shot defensemen
Yeah.
that are playing on the right side as well.
So
So
Justin Hall.
yeah, no. I meant decent right-hand shot defenseman.
You're
It's not
killing,
really-
NHL
you're killing me,
players,
man.
right?
You're killing me.
Yeah, like I think I don't have Hakanpää in my top 6. I don't. What?
That just clocked in what you just.
I don't have Hakanpää in my top 6. We'll see. I kind of liked Benoit last year. I thought the Benoit McCabe pairing was nice.
That was such
Oh,
a
yeah.
good. Like, I don't think it's a second pairing.
No,
or
never
it should be. It shouldn't be your second pairing
be a
for most of
third
the
pair.
year. Although I do think McCabe's better than a third pairing defenseman. But that was a really good pair. They were just so
The
dependable.
thing I struggled with is that then you leave OEL with Lidren, and I think that's
That's
a
the
disaster
issue.
waiting to happen.
Yeah.
But I think that has a fire drill of a pairing right there where
Yeah.
it's just gonna be chaos. And
This,
the,
this
the
is
Leafs
why
zone the whole time.
This is why I think Liljegren's gone this year at some point.
Yeah. Let's hear-
Well, yeah, I mean, like but then if you go Benoit Hakanpää, wait, no, Hakanpää's a left-hand shot anyway. So
he's right-handed.
He's
Is he
right-handed.
right-handed
Yeah,
shot?
he's
Yeah.
right-handed. That's
Oh,
why
right,
it's
right,
so
right,
crazy.
No, that's on me. That's my bad. Yeah, if you go Benoit Hakanpää, I think it's a pretty physical blue line or pairing there.
Yeah,
and I think that's the type of
Jesus
pair
Christ.
that I think that's a pair that Berube would love, and I think it's also
Yeah.
a pair that Treliving would love. The thing that
type
comes
of player
from
that'll get walked by Connor McDavid and will be on
I
highlight.
was really just about to say the foot speed on that line terrifies me. I think that might be the slowest pair in hockey. But you guys want to go through your defense
Buddy,
pairs?
Eric Goodbranson exists.
Yeah,
you know
okay,
that,
yeah,
right?
but who's he even with? I was really looking at this.
Columbus,
Yeah,
dude.
no, I know, but
Till the-
I
till the
wonder
end
who
of
his
time.
pairing was. I was looking at it today. 'cause I was doing my Metro
You'd have to check.
predictions.
Yeah, we'd have to check like Evolving Hockey or something for that.
No, I'm checking.
I've got the
Daily
subscription.
Face-Off.
Check Aaron Port's line.
Yeah, check airports.
Wait,
let's see. Who's you?
Jack Johnson.
No way. Jack Johnson's back with Columbus?
Yeah,
That can't be
they
real.
signed him. He
That's
signed him in
actually
the
kind of
offseason.
cool. That's kind of cool.
They had to
honestly.
update this because I think when I was looking at it earlier today, they had him with someone else. I don't think it was Jack Johnson, but I mean,
that could
okay,
be
I don't
Jack
think the
Johnson.
third pairing on Columbus
Yeah,
matters that
I
much.
was-
You guys want to go through your? You guys want to go
Yeah.
through
Yeah,
yours?
that,
I mean-
that was the line in training camp today too. Johnson on the left,
wow.
Goodbranson on the
Okay.
right.
Yeah, my My D pairings weren't too far off, to be honest. I had Riley Hakanpää, OEL Tanev, Benoit McCabe. Riley Hakan. This again, I'm like being a big optimist here right now, and that's probably the dumbest thing I could do. But
I really don't see Hakanpää as a first pairing defenseman.
Yeah, I don't know. He kind of fits that mold of defenseman that typically play with Riley. Like,
yeah, because we haven't had one.
Just the issue is
like,
again,
we have not had a defenseman to play with Riley.
It's just the issue again is like
Mitch Marner, yeah.
Timothy Liljegren throws a wrench in my defense because it's like I literally do not know where that guy plays.
I think Brad Keeling's kind of thinking the same thing right now.
He's not like. There's no. How is he gonna play with Riley, man? Like every time they put those two together, it's like a defensive disaster.
That's why you don't play.
OEL Liljegren would be a defensive disaster.
Yeah.
He's got to be a third pairing guy, but then.
That's why I don't OEL McCabe and Benoit Liljegren and Hakanpää.
I guess yeah.
I think he's gonna need maintenance, because it was looking like he couldn't play. So I don't know how you go from couldn't play to 82
games.
I think you're gonna need maintenance.
The big thing for me, I think, is that I really want to keep that Benoit McCabe pairing together, just because they were so dependable. Like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But they might not have a choice, to be honest.
Jacob, you want to go through yours?
Yeah, sure. I got Riley Tanev. Obviously.
Yeah. I'm so excited for that pairing. I don't know how you didn't have them projected.
Okay, I want them to be a pair. I want them to be a pairing. It's more just I don't know how this is gonna shake up. This is more me. This is more me predicting. I guess,
but you have to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay,
that's fine.
I've got second pair. I've got McCabe and Liljegren.
Okay.
And on the third pair, I have Ekman Larsson with Hakanpää. Again, that's assuming Hakanpää is going to be good to go. And then Benoit is the 7th with the team.
You said that earlier. You think he's the 7th best defenseman on this team?
I think if everyone's healthy, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I don't disagree.
Honestly, yeah.
I thought Benoit played really well last year. I don't know. I still don't know if that's what the type of player he is, or if because
it's kind of a flash.
Or maybe
he might be better than Liljegren.
It also could be just he had really good chemistry with McCabe, and that can elevate people a lot of the time.
If they get someone good on the right side to play with Ekman Larsson for a second pair, Benoit McCabe is the third pair, no brainer. Yeah. But again, it's just situationally, I have Benoit at the lineup because for all the reasons you said, you can't do Ekman Larsson Liljegren. Yeah. It gives some credibility to you having Hakanpää on the first pair. Yeah, they're in a really tough position, and there's no one that they really signed that.
Noah Chadwick.
Well, Cade Weber. I know they're really big on Cade Weber.
Cade Weber.
That's a wild card.
We'll see.
That could be something. I don't think Topi Niemelä is there.
No.
Nico Kokkonen.
I mean, Dakota Mermis played like 50 games last year.
Dakota Mermis.
Seb always loves these PTO guys for some reason.
What do you know about Nick Patan?
Please do not buy a Joe Thornton Leaf jersey, please, man, please.
Yeah.
I'll
wear it next pod. I'll wear it next pod.
You have a Wayne Simmons jersey too, don't you?
It was like DHgate, and it wasn't even a Wayne Simmons jersey. It came in the mail, and it was an Austin Matthews. It was supposed to be the reverse retro with the gray.
Yeah.
It was white, and it said Austin Matthews.
It looks better in white. I'm gonna be honest with you.
They should have done
when
white.
they released the jerseys. I was hoping
they
it was white.
done
gray. You have it, right?
I do.
I have it too.
Yeah,
I have it too. It's mid.
I liked it when it first came out.
Yeah, and then you see it on ice.
You don't like it
I don't
anymore?
like it anymore. I bought it.
I wasn't a fan when they released it.
Second reverse retro was way better, and they wore it for 3 games.
I thought the silver was odd. I also have the second reverse retro. The second
reverse retro
my
was so
favorite.
If that was their home jersey right now, I'd be completely content with
me
that.
too.
Next podcast, we're doing Leaf alternate jersey rankings at the end.
No promises.
Oh my god.
You got Philip Myers in the minors too.
Philippe Myers, legend.
I think the two extras that we're gonna see the most of.
Nicholas Mattinen. We forgot about him too.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, I have
no
nothing
one
to
is
say.
talking about that.
I have no
bro,
clue who that is.
6'5", left-hand D.
There's
He
no way you
shoots
know
right.
his dimensions, bro.
I just
shoots
remember that
right.
signing because he was a Leaf draft pick back in the, like
Sebastian.
2015, and then he was a free agent and he came back.
He shoots right.
I think
He shoots right.
so. You
Let's go. Let's go.
I said that 4 times and you heard me finally.
I know. It's
Selected
the 4th time
pairing.
the charm.
Marshall Rafai.
He's gone, isn't he?
No,
he's
he
here.
signed a 2-year extension.
Oh right, I wrote an article about that too. Who am I thinking
Subtle
of?
plug,
Someone else. Yeah, someone else.
Max Lajoie?
Max Lajoie.
Oh,
is
he's
what I was
gone.
thinking of.
Yeah.
He's with
Will
Pittsburgh now, isn't he?
Lagesson too. I remember Will Lagesson got claimed.
I don't know
last
where
year.
I'm like 90% sure Max Lajoie is with Pittsburgh right now.
Is
I could be wrong, but we'll see.
still on Anaheim?
Who?
Legason?
He just signed
he went
with
to Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah, he's with Detroit now.
Just the guy they need.
Yeah, Lajoie signed in Pittsburgh.
Really?
I was yeah. Yeah.
Kyle Dubas loves our sloppy seconds.
Okay, dude.
So do the
Oh
Senators.
wait, no. Did
Mark Johnstone.
he sign with? I could have sworn he. I don't know. I'm going nuts about this Max Lajoie signing. I don't think it's really that relevant. But
I've got a fun game for you guys.
Okay.
oh no, he's a Seattle Kraken. Okay.
Seattle Kraken. What the? What's the game?
This is the stupidest thing ever.
Okay.
Max Pacioretty's wearing number 67 this year. Steven Lorentz is wearing 18 in training camp. Who were the last 3 players on the Leafs to wear number 18?
Noah Gregor.
Okay.
Andreas Johnson.
I didn't
Andreas
think you were gonna
Johnson.
get Noah Gregor right away.
Andreas Johnson.
Yeah, you got 2 of them. I forget the third. I got.
Can we get like a? Oh,
I'll be right back. I'll be right back.
did you want 60 us to guess 67 as well? Because I don't know. I
67
don't
you
know
got.
I don't even
anybody who
know-
wore
I
number
don't think
67.
anyone- 18. I'm trying to think.
I'll give you a hint in 2 seconds.
I feel like it was. Oh my god! I know someone random wore it.
Actually, oh sorry. No, actually, Andreas Johnson isn't one of the last 3.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But he did wear 18, didn't
He didn't wear 18.
He
That's
was,
just
but he's
been
not
wasn't one of the last
three.
3. Did Nick? What did Nick Foligno wear?
71.
71.
Was 7? Yeah, because his dad.
Was,
Noah Gregor is one of them, and then there was a player in 2023 and a player in 2022.
Oh my.
Alex
Was
Steves?
Alex Steves is not
was
one
it
of them. They're-
okay? Was it like a fringe player or like?
they are both French players.
Well, they would be French players, so we would have known if they
one
played
of them
for
retired recently.
Retired recently.
Just a couple days ago.
Spezza? No, Spezza
No.
was
19.
yeah.
Oh my
The-
gosh.
one defenseman, the brother of a captain of an NHL.
Oh, Jordy
team.
Ben.
Jordy Ben.
Oh my God! You remember that
Jordy
game against
Ben.
Vancouver where
Dude, he
scored?
was good as a Leaf.
That game was
he
nuts,
was good
man.
as a Leaf.
Robertson,
bad.
Dude,
He was not
Robertson got
bad.
murdered by Ian Cole. Domi fought Cole. Jordy Ben scored in the same game. That was a great game.
And the last one is currently an Ottawa Senator. He just signed there
Michael
this year.
Amadio?
Michael Amadio.
Michael Amadio.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's crazy. I did not know 3 guys before Janssen wore 18.
Honorable mention to
insane.
Andreas Janssen, Ben Smith, Milan McCullough.
Ben Smith. Oh my gosh. That's so
Noted
cool.
Marlies
Ben
captain.
Smith.
All right, let's get away from the number 18 and back to the lineup here. Like this is all right. So we haven't
We have
touched on
more?
the goaltending yet.
Oh, goaltending, yeah.
But I mean, I think it's pretty obvious. Wool and Stolars. How do you guys feel about that?
do you want to go first?
Sure, I can go first. I think there are obvious concerns about that everybody is thinking
Yeah.
about with Wool having injury issues, maybe lack of experience. He won't be able to play 50 games this year, and I don't think he
Yeah.
will. I think he'll probably play like 45 in the absolute best case
I'm
scenario.
even nervous about 45. I gotta be honest with you guys. Like,
Because then you need him to play in the playoffs too.
yeah,
Yeah,
I love Wool's ability, and I think he's a great goalie.
Yeah.
What scares me is his availability, and if you're not playing, you get Ilya Samsonov in Game 7. That's what you get.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
They're-
although to be fair, we have way better insurance this year with Stolars.
I
think
gotta be honest with
Stolars.
you, I'm not the biggest fan of this goaltending tandem. Stolars,
Okay.
he had good numbers as a backup in Florida.
Yeah.
925 and 27
Yeah,
games.
but he played. I don't think he's played more than 25 games in his career.
He hasn't. And I,
He
you-
played
I remember-
28
I
in
was really.
2021.
I don't know if you guys probably wouldn't remember this, but on free agency, I was really weary about that because we were rumored to be in on Stolars, and I wasn't the biggest fan just because of how little he's played.
Yeah.
But all people do is rave about this guy, and I think at a certain point, kind of just got to take a bet. I got I mean,
I mean,
if he
you
does
don't have much of an
if
option.
he even
but it's
if
like,
he even plays, goes up to what 35 games, I feel like that's a great deal.
yeah.
yeah, but then we're saying what Wool doesn't play 45 games. We're nervous
Well,
about
yeah,
that.
but then you
Just-
have Matt Murray sitting there in
Yeah,
the
you-
AHL.
you-
Well, you have
you're
Dennis
getting 15
Hild. You
games
have
from Matt Murray
Dennis.
this
You
year.
have Dennis
I get
Hildeby.
that. I get that, but Murray hasn't played in a year, and
Yeah.
when he
Yeah.
got back to the AHL,
But
he didn't even look
you-
that good.
you-
so what is he? What
you-
is he?
But you also have Dennis Hildeby as well, who could play games.
All
Which is
4 of these
also a
goalies are
wild
going to play
card.
this year.
They're wild cards, but they take games.
Yeah, but we have
Where you
so
might not
our
get them
biggest
from
wild
Wall
card is at
or
the most important
Stolars.
position. Is that's what I'm
Well, when
nervous
is it
about.
not for the
For
Leafs?
how
I
many
feel like this.
straight
I
years?
feel like
Yeah.
I feel like this is. I don't even know. It's not the most secure,
they're
but
going-
it's
It's not.
They're
The
going
most
into
secure
the
was when we
season.
had Campbell and Freddie, and I'm
That
not
was
even
a
a big
great
fan.
year.
I'm
Yeah,
not
that
big
was a
Freddie fan,
decent
but that's
can.
when-
If-
that's when-
if Freddie did-
because it's a great tandem on paper, but
then
that was
Freddie
when Frederick
fell
Anderson
off.
was at his absolute
Yeah.
worst
with
with
the
the rear.
Leafs.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the
know,
most
they're-
secure we've ever been was Freddie and McElhaney.
Yeah.
And McElhaney didn't
Oh.
even play that many games.
Yeah, they're taking a huge gamble here. They're going with 2 goalies that have never played more than 25 games
they're
in their career.
they're banking on 2 guys to play more.
The most the most games Anthony Stolarz has ever played is 28 with the 21-22 Ducks.
He had a 917, right?
I believe so.
Can we
but
talk about
the,
the
the following year in 19 games with the Ducks?
899. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But-
they were way worse too.
On
To
the
be
Anaheim
fair,
Ducks.
Yeah.
on the Anaheim Ducks,
Yeah.
And then he has a 925 on the Panthers. So
Yeah, like,
it seems like he might be a bit of a.
he's a good goalie. Just we got to see if he's a good backup or he's gonna be a good tandem guy.
I'm just nervous about if you get an uptick in games played. What is his What is his body? How does his body react? Because when you
Yeah.
haven't played that many games, it's weird.
From what I know, I could be wrong because I mean I haven't followed Anthony Stolar's career like that, but I don't know if he has much of an injury history. So at least that's a good sign.
Even if you don't have injury history, you get fatigued and then your game drops off a bit.
Yeah.
That's true.
And also, how does his numbers? What does his play look like if he's being relied upon for that much? You know,
I
what does that
think
look
I
like?
think one thing we can be a
don't
little
know.
happier about is that the defense is way better this year, and
Yeah, I think
that
this is-
should help.
We didn't say this when we were going over the defense, but I think this is probably the best defense core that they've
had
had
in the
in
Matthews era, for
100%.
sure.
Since the 23 playoffs, I would say. I thought that was a good decor.
23 playoffs was okay.
Riley Shen.
Yeah,
but
it was
even
more
then,
good 'cause of the
Luke
chemistry
Shen
with
is a
it.
third pairing. Like what we've done with Mo every single time since, every single time he's been in Toronto, we've stuck him with a third pairing stay-at-home defenseman so he could play offense.
Yanni Hackenpah.
Yeah, you again with Hawkenpaw. But they've had him with Ron Hainsey.
Cody Ceci.
Cody, that was terrible.
Tyson Barrie.
Tyson Barrie, that was a thing. That was weird.
Yeah.
Ilya Labushkin.
Labushkin.
Yeah.
I'm trying to search my memory now for who he played with over the last few
TJ
years.
Brody was
TJ Brody was
best,
the best
but he wasn't
option we
right-handed.
had, but he wasn't a right-hand shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which it worked for
And
them
they
for a
sucked
time.
last year.
They were
All right.
yeah.
Have we said all we need to say about the lineup? You want to get into key dates here, or is there anything else you guys want to touch on?
I had something, but I
Yeah.
lost it, so we can move on.
One last thing, just biggest weakness on this team. What do you think? Goaltending?
I had it.
I got goaltending.
Either goaltending or just the general forward depth, because literally whatever you do to
Yeah.
that lineup, something's missing. But I guess at the end of the day, you'll never have a perfect lineup. So
Yeah, in a cap era, it's very hard.
I've got goaltending too. I just think it as there's a lot of question marks on this team. The most are in net. There's the most possibility for things to go wrong in net.
I wouldn't
I
even
100% agree with
I wouldn't
that.
even necessarily say net is like a weakness. It's just it's kind of an unknown. Like we don't.
Yeah.
It has a high ceiling, but it could have a pretty low floor.
Yeah.
It's kind of unpredictable.
If both of those guys can play 40 games and have like above 9-10,
Yeah,
They're
although we're
fine.
probably
Even above
getting
905.
a little too optimistic at this point with everything about the lineup. Like something's gonna go wrong.
not gonna,
Yeah,
that's not
I
gonna
mean,
happen.
something goes wrong every year, so we'll see what happens. Like injuries are a
Yeah.
thing, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But not hoping for any injuries. Obviously, that'd be a disaster for this
Yeah.
lineup when you're so thin up front. But let's move on to the key dates. I don't know if you guys will have any comments on these, but I just think it's interesting.
Yeah.
The season opens on October 9th against Montreal. That's in Montreal. The first game we play against Keefe would be the day after in New Jersey. So we opened the season with a back-to-back away both games.
Nice.
Sheldon.
I mean, New Jersey, Leafs games in New Jersey always have a weird vibe to me. I don't know what it is.
Remember the one game where Matt Murray was in net and
We
they like
played- he
accused
pushed the net off
Yeah,
3
they like
times.
yeah.
And they were throwing beer on the ice. That was funny, man. That was really funny.
Was that the game where it was the end of New Jersey?
Yeah, we beat their
streak,
we beat
yeah.
their huge win
Yeah,
streak
yeah,
because
yeah.
Matt
Yeah.
Murray knocked the net off the post 3 times.
Didn't they have 3 goals get called back in that
Yeah,
game?
that's why everyone threw beer on the ice. And I'm gonna be honest with you, all those calls were warranted. The
Yeah,
net was
like,
off,
they were.
man. Like
Look,
whatever.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't remember a single scenario, but I remember thinking that at the time. So I'm gonna be passionate about it.
Yeah. All right. Home opener is October 12th against Pittsburgh.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
Brewery's first game against St. Louis is October 24th. That one's in Toronto. Yeah. The first game against Boston is October 26th.
I hate them.
I agree.
Me too.
November 12th is the first game against Ottawa since really
That's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm glad they.
That's gonna be fun.
I'm glad they don't play in October because it's just
Yeah.
gonna brew for a little bit. and
Yeah.
I wonder how that's gonna
gonna
go because I feel like it might have been
It's
enough
in
time,
Toronto, by
but
the
like
way.
the players could be, you know. I
think
feel like
they
it's
gotta
something
put,
that the players will still think
They
about.
gotta put
like,
Reeves on all 4 lines for that game.
I love that.
Triple shift Ryan Reeves.
Triple shift Ryan.
He might pass out.
He might never play again. His poor knees.
Sammy's return to Toronto November 20th.
I really hope he plays.
That would be
Yeah,
cool.
the thing is,
I don't
know.
hate the guy.
I
It's
was
just
literally just about to say
like-
that. I feel bad because I don't mind
I
Sammy,
don't hate
but
him.
he just
It's
didn't play that well.
Yeah.
And then the
just
first game against Celebrini is March 3rd.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
anything else you guys want to talk about, or are we good here?
If you have time, we can talk about the cap space a little bit, cap situation. But
I
we
think
kinda
we
touched
yeah,
on it.
like
Yeah.
I think there's only so much you could do on this roster. I think
Yeah.
people are talking about Yarncroke a lot, but I still don't mind him. I think he's
I'd
fine.
prefer to keep Yarncroke over Camp.
Shut up, Dom.
For sure.
I would.
shut up, Dom. We're keeping our.
I like Camp, or I don't like Camp.
Oh yeah, Yarncroke
Yeah.
is staying, buddy.
I don't like Camp, but I don't know how you move that deal. I listen. I love watching Revo because I love goons and I love like guys who like will fight and hit, but that deal is atrocious.
I feel like
They're
Revo
not
is like the
trading, though.
least of our concerns, though. To be honest.
Yeah,
I feel like Camp is
yeah,
a way worse.
I kept him out of
contract.
my top 12. I think you guys probably would have noticed that, but
Yeah.
I just feel like he could swap in and out. Like if you need him against teams, you decide there. So
He'll play 40 games this
yeah.
year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all. I think we touched on everything we wanted to today. So
Cool.
Hope you guys enjoyed the first podcast. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think we're gonna try to do one a week. Right now, I think that's the plan, and I think we're excited to get started here. Camp underway now, and preseason games. I think they play on Sunday against Ottawa. So
Really?
yeah.
That's awesome.
They play Saturday against. Oh no, sorry, you're right. That is the
I
first
think
game.
it's
Do
Sunday
a
against
live
Ottawa.
pod.
I
We
was
should
gonna
do a
say.
live podcast.
I'm not
at
doing
a
that for the first
game.
preseason game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest with
I'm
you.
not doing that to watch Jacob Cullen and Nick Abruzzese. Sorry,
yeah,
man.
and you hype up the next like random Leafs.
Nikita
PTO.
Grabyankin.
Yeah, okay.
But if
All
you
right.
guys want to spend $300, we could go see a meaningless game in standing
I
room.
would love
only.
that. Standing room would
that
be
sounds like
sick.
a great idea.
Yeah,
Like,
honest to
just
God.
stand there
No,
and
just
watch
sit in
them
the-
get the
sit in the
brain
cores.
speed off of them against Arizona.
Yeah.
For $300.
Sit in like
yeah.
the Coors
Sounds good.
lounge
Lounge.
thingy. That'd be sick. Get smashed watching.
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for listening. Have a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See ya.